What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Swisky, who is going to be on Geargia hands, versus Jay's back, who is going to be on Sylvan Turbo. It's slightly a faster version of Sylvan that is a little bit more rank 8 focused than anything else, and really cool deck, honestly. And both of these players are very good players, so hopefully this will be a good match. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Here, it looks like Swisky will win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Max C, Compulse, Firehand, Geargia Gear, and Firehand. And on the other side, we see Komashrumo, Sylvan Charity, Mount Sylvania, Upstart Goblin, and Malefic Stardust Dragon. So this kind of is something that you sometimes could see in Sylvan, but it's definitely not in your standard Sylvan deck. Basically, it says it cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from their hand by banishing one Stardust Dragon from your extra deck, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. There can only be one face-up Malefic monster on the field. Face-up field spell cards cannot be destroyed by card effects, and other monsters you control cannot declare an attack. If there is no face-up field spell card on the field, destroy this card. A lot of times this is just a extra level 8 extender or an extra level 8 for your trade-ins, but even on its own with Sylvania, it can be very strong. But anyways, getting into this match, Swisky will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of MK2, and here they're just going to set Firehand, set Geargia Gear, and Compulse, and pass it over to Jay's back, who gets a copy of Sage Koya for turn. From here, they're going to activate Upstart, getting a copy of Trade-In, activating Trade-In, getting rid of the Malefic Stardust, drawing into Super Solar Nutrient and Soul Charge. And from here, they're going to activate Sylvan Charity, drawing into Trade-In, Sage Koya, and Malefic Stardust, putting back double Sage Koya here. After that, activating Trade-In, getting rid of the other Malefic Stardust, drawing into Sage Koya, and then activating Sylvania. And from here, they're thinking... and, just activating it, so not using the effect of Sylvania, and then setting the copy of Komashrumo. In end phase, Swisky is going to activate Geargia Gear, summoning MK2 and Geargiano, and both will be level 4s, and then here Swisky will get another copy of MK2, so all the Geargianos are out of deck. They're going to start their turn by going into a copy of Geargigan X, detaching Geargiano, and searching a copy of Accelerator here. And after that, normal summoning the MK2, bringing back the Geargiano, and then overlaying for a copy of Alucard to be able to out that Komashrumo without flipping it. But here, Jay's back is going to be able to go for the copy of Sage Koya, and Swisky is just going to flip the Firehand and go into battle phase and crash the Firehand, which will destroy the Sage Koya, and then summon a copy of Ice Hand, and then push in for a lot of damage here. So applying a lot of pressure really early on. And after that, let's see, going to end phase here, the Mount Sylvania will be able to trigger an end phase to excavate the top card, and it's going to be My Body as a Shield, so Jay's back will either be able to put it on the top or bottom of the deck, and it looks like they put it on the bottom, and here they're going to draw into a copy of Komashrumo. So there's definitely a possibility for a big Soul Charge play, or actually maybe not the biggest Soul Charge play, but let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to normal summon the Komashrumo and then activate the Super Solar Nutrient that says activate this card by tributing one level 2 or lower plant monster. Special summon one plant monster from your hand or deck whose level is less than or equal to the level of the tributed monster had on the field, +3. So basically they can get rid of this and get into a copy of Lone Fire. And then when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster, and when that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So here they are gonna go, and Swisky's gonna chain Max C to that, and Lone Fire is gonna be summoned. Here Swisky gets a copy of Geargia Armor. My bad, I don't know why I just had a problem with that. And then they're going to use, Jay's back's going to use Lone Fire and go into a copy of Hermitry. Swisky's going to draw into a copy of Needle Sealing, And let's see here, Sylvania is going to be activated, getting rid of the copy of Sage Koya to stack a Sage Koya here. And then from here, it looks like Compulse is going to be activated on the Hermitry, because what would have happened is Jaceback would have been able to use the Hermitry, excavate the Sage Koya that was on top, and then get a draw, as well as the Sage Koya from being excavated would have added back this copy of Sylvan Charity. So that definitely would not have been good. And now, yeah, Jaceback is just going to scoop it up. Swisky put a lot of pressure early on and kind of had all the right answers there. So moving on into game number 2, Jaceback will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Geargia Armor, MST, Soul Charge, MK2, and Geargia Armor. And on the other side, we see Mount Sylvania, Hermitry, Upstart, Soul Charge, and Terraforming. And they will get a draw for turn, getting a Miracle Fertilizer, so a very solid hand, going Terraforming to add a copy of Sylvania, and then activating Upstart, getting another Soul Charge, activating the Mount Sylvania, and discarding the Hermitry to stack a copy of Princess Sprout, then using the Fertilizer to bring back the Hermitry. Hermitry effect is going to excavate the Princess Sprout and get a draw, getting a copy of Trade-In, then Princess Sprout can trigger, being a level 8 and summoning itself back, and then overlaying into a copy of Alsay. Okay, interesting, they're going for that, using the effect and calling Hermitry, and they are going to hit a Cherub Sprout, so maybe they were just trying to get a random excavate and hope for the best there. But here, well, I guess if they called Hermitry, they were hoping to hit it and add it to hand, so then they could use the trade-in, because Alsay says, let me just see, you can detach a material from this card, oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Once per turn, declare one card name, excavate the top card, and if it's the declared card, add it to your hand, otherwise send it to the graveyard. So that's what they were hoping to do here. But anyways, hitting the copy of Cherub Sprout is going to special summon a Spore from deck, and then here Jaceback is just going to set the copy of Trade-In. Unfortunately, they didn't really have any other good plays they could do there, especially given, you know, the Hermitry was under the copy of Alsay here. Swisky draws into a copy of MK2. They're going to normal summon Armor and go to battle phase running over the Spore, and then main phase 2 using the effect of Armor to reset itself. And then here they're going to set the copy of MST, go end phase, the Sylvania is going to trigger and reveal the Malefic Stardust Dragon, which they are going to put on the top of the deck. And here they're going to go straight into main phase, use that trade in, get rid of the Malefic Stardust, draw into a Blaster and Hermitry. So very interesting draws here, going for the Mount Sylvania, getting rid of the Hermitry, and putting a copy of Komashrumo on top. And interesting that they were allowing all of this to happen with the Sylvania. I guess if they were expecting that Jaceback had a Soul Charge or another, I mean, they have the Fertilizer still, then it wasn't the strongest play, but they're kind of just allowing all of this to happen here. And so anyways, here, it looks like they're just using the Alsay, declaring a random card to excavate the Komashrumo, which is then going to be able to pop that set Speller Trap. So they are going to hit the MST, and then MST is going to chain to hit the Fertilizer here. After that, a big Soul Charge play potentially, and yes, Swisky has seen enough, so it is going to go straight into a game number 3. Opening hands, we see Blackhorn Heaven, Geargia Gear, Soul Charge, Geargiano, and MK2. So a little unfortunate seeing both of these right away, but I guess if you're going to see 2 of the 3s together, then you definitely want these to be them, and still having access to the Geargia Gear, given they don't draw for turn another one of these MK2s. On the other side, though, we see Princess Sprout, Trade-In, Soul Charge, Mount Sylvania, and Lonefire, so definitely not bad at all whenever you see, you know, Lonefire plus Soul Charge, but at the same time, Swisky does have this copy of Blackhorn, so we will have to see. Here, Swisky draws a copy of Armor, which they're going to set, and set to back row over to Jaceback, who gets a copy of Sage Koya. There are definitely a lot of things Jaceback can do to start out this turn, maybe starting with the Sylvania and seeing if there's any answer for it before going for a Lonefire, but let's see what they do. Here they're going to think, and they're just going to actually go for the Lonefire right away, normal summoning it, going Lonefire into Lonefire, and then Lonefire into Hermitry. After that, activating the Sylvania, and here they're going to get rid of the Princess Sprout to stack the top of their deck, stacking the copy of Komashrumo, and then using the Hermitry to excavate the Komashrumo and draw into a copy of Hermitry, which is really good given they have Trade-In. And then from here, the Komashrumo will be able to pop a back row, but they're going to chain link to the Sage Koya. So the Sage Koya is going to summon itself, And then the copy of Komashrumo is going to pop. I believe, were they popping the Geargia gear or were they chaining it to it? It looks like they were attempting to pop with the copy of Komashrumo, the Geargia gear. So the Geargia gear was chained something to MK2s. And then the Sage Koya is using its effect, which excavates another Sage Koya. And from here, trade-ins activated, getting rid of the Hermitry, drawing into a MST and a Hermitry, then going MST, going after the last back row, which luckily they did. Hitting that copy of Blackhorn is huge for them. And then here just going to battle phase and running over the two MK2s. And so holding the soul charge, but here Swisky draws into a copy of Accelerator, and we know they have armor, so this could be a very big turn for Swisky, and they are going to flip up the armor, adding a copy of Accelerator. Then here they're going to special Accelerator and special summon the other Accelerator, overlaying both into a copy of Geargia X, using the effect detaching Accelerator and adding back the Accelerator. After that, they are going to special summon Accelerator again, overlaying for a copy of 101, which they're going to use the effect and take the copy of Hermitry before normal summoning the MK2, bringing back an MK2, and overlaying into a copy of Acid Golem. From here, going to battle phase, running over the Sage Koya, attacking in with 101 and attacking in with the Gear Gigant X. So, you know, clearing the board and putting up a lot of damage here. And then in the end phase, the Sylvania is going to activate here, hitting the Malefic Stardust, which they are going to put on the bottom. And here, Jay's back draws into a copy of Komashrumo, activating Soul Charge, bringing back Hermitry, Lone Fire. Oh, but so they are going to be really low in life, but they're going to make a big push potentially here, using Lone Fire to go for a copy of Spore, and then using the other Lone Fire for a copy of Sage Koya. After that, Sylvania is going to discard the copy of Komashrumo to stack a copy of Princess Sprout, using the Hermitry, hitting the Princess Sprout that was stacked and drawing into a copy of Trade-In, which is like, again, a great draw there for them, being able to have access to a live trade-in. And then the Princess Sprout's going to special summon itself as a level 8. Trade-ins activated, drawing into Terraforming and the Malefic Stardust. So again, just great cards there. Here, going for a copy of Scrap Dragon, setting the copy of Terraforming, using Scrap Dragon to pop the Acid Golem. And then here, overlaying into a copy of Felgrand, Spore is going to activate, banishing the Sage Koya to summon the Spore as a level 8. And then from here, special summoning the Malefic Stardust, banishing the Stardust to do so. Going for the copy of Giant Grinder here. And from here, they're going to use the effect to pop the Gear Gigant. And because it was an Xyz, they are going to take some damage here. And then using the effect again, going after the 101, which is now going to lose its material, and obviously skipping the battle phase, though, you know, looking at it, Jay's back only has 200 life, so depending on what Swisky does, they can just do a little bit of damage and take the game here, especially because if they can bait, say, the copy of Felgrand here, they can just go for something with the Soul Charge, for example, something like a Black Ship of Corn to get over the Giant Grinder, though I guess at that rate, if they Dark Hole, they would probably protect with Felgrand, and then these would get destroyed, so they wouldn't be able to do that. But let's see what they choose to do here. Soul Charge is going to activate, going for the copy of Accelerator Armor. So a big Soul Charge play from both players, going for that copy of Black Ship of Corn, using the effect, trying to go for the, you know, Giant Grinder early on to bait the copy of Felgrand, which, oh, I guess at that rate, they use the Felgrand on this, so the Dark Hole can just come down and the Geargiano can be summoned. Here they're going to normal the Geargiano, going for the copy of Accelerator, and then just, yeah, go into Cowboy. And that is going to be game, so Swisky does take that one. A very close finish, honestly. I mean, to an extent, but a very impressive board that even Jay's back was able to put up. But it did leave him a little low and susceptible, especially, again, Geargia is a deck that is full of level 4s. The Soul Charge plays are as strong as any other deck in a lot of cases, so unfortunately, they just weren't able to play through, you know, a Black Ship plus Cowboy play. But either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays, whether you won or lost. If you thought the deck you or your opponent played was pretty cool, feel free to send that in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.